Today I decided to make a Buka in a different way than I've ever made one in the past. In the past, I would bond by gluing and or taping the spars and the cross spars and the spine to the sail material. Now, I looked at some of the kites I've made, the Bukas I've made that way, and when they are under tension like this, ready to fly, I noticed that there were quite substantial wrinkles along where the spars were glued to the sail. So I thought maybe that the glued spars weren't allowing the sail material to freely move, and if it were to freely move, maybe it would have fewer wrinkles and therefore maybe fly better. So what I did was I attached at the corners only the spars. I glued them and also taped the corners on each crossbar and on the spine itself. On the leading edge spar, I glued it along its entire length. I used this glue, T8000. It's a really very, very strong bonding glue. I have had great success with it in my other kites. And I didn't even have a hem on this leading edge when I glued it. It doesn't need one because the glue bond is so strong. Now I haven't yet flown this kite, so I don't know if on a Buka it will hold as well as it does on a diamond-shaped kite. But on a diamond-shaped kite, making my bow and sail bond this way with no hem has proven to be very, very successful. And it's easier to do, and it's lighter weight. So by treating the Buka differently, it's the same size Buka I normally make. It's 10 inches tall, 15 inches wide, and in this case I used 0.05 inch diameter carbon fiber rods for all of the spars. 1.3 millimeter diameter would also work equally well. And this kite will fly well in a wide range of winds. So I'm very happy in the fact that when I get it ready to fly, by bending the leading edge spar so it has a curve in it, that the sail is relatively smooth. There are not any real major wrinkles or puckers or anything that is similar to on previous Bukas I've made. So because of this method makes making the Buka easier, faster, and I'm quite convinced when I fly this it will fly better than other Bukas I've made. Now I had a email from one of the viewers of my YouTube channel asking me about the balance of a Buka. Now in a diamond-shaped fighter kite, balancing it, static balance, nose to tail, is really important in determining how it spins, whether it's a very tight rotational spin around the center of the kite, like this, or whether it's a loopy, kind of a small circle kind of a spin. But on a Buka, the balance doesn't determine that. On a Buka is nose heavy because of the way the spars are. So if you want the spin to be rotational and very quick, put the lower bridle connection point at the center, right at the point where the spars cross each other. That'll give you a very tight spin, very quick. If you want it to be a little less quick, move it down a little bit on towards the tail of the spine. And if you wanted a little bigger circle, move it farther and farther based on how you want the spin to be. But Bukas do not respond in the same way as diamonds to the actual weight distribution nose to tail. So I hope that if you make one of these and use this technique, that I made this, it took me about total of 2 hours, but most of that time was waiting for the glue to dry. And when I made the sail, I cut it using this breakaway or break off utility knife. And there's one thing I want to tell you about if you don't already know. If you're using polyfilm like this, or any plastic film, gift wrap, mylar, whatever you want, if you cut it and use a knife and don't hot cut it, when you start the cut, for example, let's say that I'm going to cut a strip right here. Now, you want to start the cut and do not stop the knife along the cut. In other words, if you just pull it all the way smoothly along and complete the cut, then you will not have any nicks or any areas that could possibly be adding to the future damage that your sail could cause. And the reason is that when you stop the knife, very small nicks, like if I'm going to cut this here and I come a certain way, oops, not quite wide enough for the ruler, I guess. But if I were to cut this here part way and stop and start again and stop, start again and stop, start again and stop. Each time I stop, although I cannot see it, it's not visible, there could well be very small nicks created in the sail itself. And if that occurs when you're flying the kite, might not be on the first flight, might be on the 20th flight. You don't really know, but there's a good chance that that nick will eventually, through the fluttering and pressure of the wind on the sail, it will cause it to tear the sail all the way across, and you'll have a ruined kite. You have to remake it. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope you make one of these and find it to be a really good flying kite.